Woo.
I believe we are now live.
Oh, hey.
Let us see. Let us see. Okay. I think. Is it live?
It's live. It looks like it's
It
live. It
says
looks like we
live, but I
got...
was trying to check. Okay. I was trying to check like Twitch and stuff to make sure anything was popping off because we are now on 2 platforms. And so I wanted to make sure both platforms were working. Twitch is tricky because okay, now it's showing. It wasn't showing us live, but that was like seeing stuff. Okay, we're live on Twitch and YouTube. Welcome everybody. You already know what it is. We are doing how we do, which is being chaotic. But it's Christmas, it's the holidays, and we are taking this. We're gonna be casual about it. We're gonna be chill about it. We're not going to stress ourselves out. We're not trying to be all extra. We just want to have a good little conversation about the Christmas special. So welcome in. Let us know you are in chat. We will be talking to y'all. I want to hear from y'all too. And I guess we'll just jump right into the actual stuff. Brett, how are you?
Brett.
Thank you for being on both platforms. I love you. You're so chaotic.
Rebecca. Oh, she on both? I love that. I was about to say,
let's go.
If someone is on YouTube but also has Twitch, maybe join on Twitch because we're trying to get this affiliate.
We are trying to get affiliate, and we are also trying to just get do more live stuff. So yes, we will be on Twitch. So follow us there. We will drop the links. It's not even synced. All right, Britt giving us the tea. Apparently, these are not synced. I imagine Twitch is the one that's delayed. If I had to guess,
I think so.
But that's also a setting somewhere in Twitch too. But it's fine. We're fine. We're doing it. We're live. So,
all right.
Happy Merry Christmas for those who celebrate. Keep your Twitter fingers. See, it's ingrained, but keep your fingers ready because we will be asking questions to y'all because I want to know what y'all think about some stuff. But yeah. DJ. Oh wait, no, I'm the one that started this. Okay. All right. We starting the recording, technically, officially. Okay. It's time for Who Watch. Time and Relative Blackness in Space.
Hi, everyone. It's DJ. Nick and I are back for the 2024 Christmas special, Joy to the World. This episode was written by Stephen Moffat and directed by Alex Pillai.
And we're switching up a little bit how we do it, but we're just going to give a basic summary, which is our own take, our own summary. So my one sentence summary is the doctor realizes again that they need a friend. Also, it's Christmas. Share your one sentence summaries in the chat. I want to know what your one sentence summary of this episode would be as well. So we are, again, switched it up a little bit. We're doing the recap, but not a recap. It's like more of the key moments or just things that stuck out. So we can just kind of dive right into like the nitty and the gritty. But yeah, the key moments are going to be out of order probably just because we did this kind of chaotically. We are being very chaotic today. So just go with it. Hopefully you watched the episode. And if you didn't,
frankly, I think we are moving in the spirit of the episode.
Yes, I think so. Exactly.
Past
because
and
many things occurred.
And all of the things mixed up. So
timey-wimey, of course. But yeah, so like obviously the episode opens with like the doctor popping into different time periods and different locations, offering toasty and what's it, a pumpkin latte, which is so specific.
Yeah. Cheese toasty and a pumpkin latte.
Right, cheese toasty and a pumpkin latte. And I was like, cool. I don't know what this is. I like that's cute.
And I just said, like,
I was thinking about the third poppy and like it's not warm no more. I don't want it.
I imagine that other like, show makers, whatever, want to just study the way that Doctor Who has trained us to just go with the flow. Like our willingness to just be like,
this is fun.
We'll get there.
But yeah, like it'll make sense.
Like I don't see, and we're just like, we're gonna ride it out. Like, and it's so hard to introduce someone new to the show because they be sitting there for the first 5-10 minutes like, what is happening? And you're
And
like,
we'd be like, no, this is
we're gonna get
normal.
there.
This is normal. Oh, Britt has a question since we're on the topic of, is a pumpkin latte a thing that they have in the UK? Because apparently Britt has never heard of this.
Yeah, I
feel like I've heard of it, but I think it's one of those things where they just put pumpkin. But it said pumpkin latte and not pumpkin spice, and I do feel like that is two different things.
I definitely just assumed like pumpkin spice type.
See, because pumpkin spice is a fair question. So that is a fair question. Anybody from the UK? I believe Rebecca was in chat. Let us know. Give us the tea. Give us the latte about
Rebecca, the correspondent.
We are like our like resident like UK expert. like Rebecca always shows up for us. We love Rebecca. Okay, so pop it in. We don't know what's happening. We're like, this is fine. This is normal. This is everyday behavior for the doctor. And obviously we find out later that they are just literally just popping in to find out what's going on and see what's popping off. Actually, they're just like, what's going on in this area, trying to figure out why there's a person in a lobby of a hotel called the Time Hotel. And they're in the Time Hotel carrying a briefcase suspiciously. So they want to find out, the doctor wants to find out why they are in this hotel and what they are trying to do with that briefcase in this hotel. So they just thought, let's just go through these doors and see what happens. This is perfectly fine and normal behavior for the doctor. Yeah. And I guess in our present day, in Christmas 2024, a lovely young woman named Joy is checking into a hotel by herself on Christmas to stay there for a week. And she goes and checks in, gets her little barren room that has no personality whatsoever, and is minding her business when the random door in hotels that are always locked opens, and like a Silurian carrying said briefcase walks into the room. Then a doctor follows close behind, and she like, this my room. I made this fucking room. Like, why are y'all in my room?
She was so real.
She was like, that was my favorite. It was my favorite response to anything happening in Doctor Who, like from just a person. Like, hello, I'm in here. Like, this is my room. I paid for it. And Anita, who works at the hotel, was like, yeah, she did pay for this room. This is this her room. Like, I don't know what y'all got going on.
Also very much like, this is not my business.
Nobody say no judgment zone. Like, if this is what you about, I ain't got nothing to do with it. But y'all be good. I love that. I love those interactions. Anyway, so Joy is just like, y'all just gonna have this conversation in front of me in my face in my room, and y'all ain't gonna include me in this conversation.
It didn't move to the hallway or anything, right? Like, it wasn't like that we entered through your room to get to another space.
Right? No,
it was
we're gonna have this conversation in your
and this
room.
is happening here.
So like the doctor trying to figure out what the briefcase situation is, and then the Silurian person is like, oh, you know, you're gonna learn when you learn, you're gonna know when you know, and if you know, you know. It was the whole thing. And so then the briefcase, because the briefcase be locking on the people and killing them, but the doctor don't know this yet. But the doctor, it unlocks so that the doctor can take it, but the doctor does not take it, even though I know for a fact we had about 10, 15 more seconds, the doctor would have took it. The doctor was like, I think I'll take it. But Joy was like, I'm gonna take it since y'all ain't listening to no goddamn body. And then it locked on her, and then she got possessed by the briefcase. And the briefcase said, I forgot what it said, and I wrote it down. I forgot that fast. So the briefcase was saying something. The briefcase for sure was saying, it said something about the starseed. Hold on, I'm gonna remember. The starseed will bloom, the flesh will rise, is what it said. Which is like bars. It's bars though, because for me, my brain immediately went to like the big boom, the big bada boom. So I'm like, oh, the starseed will rise, a star will be born, boom.
My brain went to like
we're gonna start a new universe, which is terrifying when you think about it, because we already have a universe.
And like the Earthseed community, because we just did like the Parable books this year. So like it made me think about that.
Okay.
And even that, you know, that's a separate conversation. But I feel ways about like Earthseed as a concept, as a religion. So that was funny too. But yeah, starseed will rise or bloom, and the flesh will rise.
Right. Like
I think it's just the flesh part that was weird. I was there for the starseed.
I just took it as like a star will like emerge, and then like a universe. You know, like how
Okay. All right. That's
like
fair.
living things will emerge from that. But it was scary to me because I'm like, we already got one of them here, so we don't need another one. Like, I want to erase this one, which I think is what they getting at. Like, y'all gonna fuck up our whole universe that already exists to make another one. I don't know. It's not even important.
I did love the like bait and switch though, because at first you think that it's like the Cerulean. Is that how you say that? That like
Silurian, yeah.
That Silurian, like they might be the ones behind it. Of sort of like, oh, this green entity is here to cause some madness.
They're like, it's time. We're done with this. We're done. We're starting
out
over.
Eventually that's not the case, but that that was clever and well done as well.
Yeah,
so
I thought that was I liked how they play with time to kind of go back and give us context for certain things, to immediately like go against whatever your expectation was. But yeah, so basically after she gets the briefcase, they are just on a mission to like stop whatever the briefcase is trying to do, but also additionally keep her alive. And they do this fun thing where the doctor needs a code to like close the briefcase, so she don't disintegrate. And the future doctor comes in, puts the code in, like sends the code, and like you have to like wait, you have to like get the code so that like you have to experience whatever I experienced to be at the place where I can be at the door to give you the code, whatever.
Close the loop.
Close loop. Here's the thing. There's never a point within the story where the doctor learns the code. The doctor learns the code from the doctor knowing the code. So it's a loop. But it's what is the word? Because this is one of those time travel things I always bring up. Like, how does the loop start? When did they first get the code the first time, right? And like they kind of basically address it. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, I love that they address it because it's a question I always have. But it's just like, what is the word he said? My brain is not. It's Christian's brain, I guess.
I don't know the word you're thinking of, but what he said is
he said it, but I
came from nowhere, but so did the universe. And no one complains about that.
I'm blanking. Bootstrap paradox. There we go. Bootstrapping. There we go. I was like, bootlicking.
He does say bootstrap in the episode.
That's true. He said bootstrap. So like, it's one of those things I hate, but at least they acknowledge that it happened, right? Like usually it just happens and it's like that's part of the episode. Like with the Doctor and the Pandorica. Like he always got this always happened. How did it always happen? Make it make sense. But at least in this episode, they address the fact that there is actually no point where the loop starts, that the loop always just is the loop. So I like that they kind of addressed that part. It made it funner, I guess. Like, oh yeah, at least we are on the same page that this should not technically work like this. And the doctor had to take the long way around. He spent one Earth year on Earth being a whimsical wizard at a hotel because he was doing it like publicly. He was doing psychic paper. He was cleaning like Mickey Mouse and
that was
it was a whole
they had fun with this one.
It was cute. It was a really cute, and it was a good self-reflective moment. Like he's hanging out, he talks to me all the time, but they are not close. They don't really have a relationship. And then at some point she comes into the room and he's like, have a chair. Because he had this whole thing where he cuts himself out about not having no chair. He basically said, you a lonely basic ass bitch. But that's not what he said word for word, but that's what he said. Because this is Tarbis and we just gonna paraphrase how we gonna paraphrase. But that's what he said. I ain't want to gossip.
Which is
offered her a chair.
I wanted to know how much time had passed since Ruby left. Like, I think it's relevant either way and kind of funny either way, but like, has it been a week or has it, or a month? If it's been like 3 days and the doctor's like, you're lonely and miserable and hate everything. I found it hilarious kind of regardless, but I was curious about how much time was supposed to have passed.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, my mom literally is like, here's all the things you ordered, handing it over the camera. I'm like, there's a camera here. So sorry about that, y'all. But like, I thought it was like it couldn't have been long. It felt very short to me, like last year. For him,
like losing it. Like,
how many years have you? How little time has passed in his life? I don't know. But for her life, I feel like it probably hadn't been that long.
Exactly.
Not long enough for her to miss him necessarily. And then they do the thing at the end because we were jumping around. We told you this. at the end where she's like, "Oh, hey, mom," and see, here's the thing: I hate that because we don't know who she's talking to, and I don't like that they didn't make that a thing that like that's not meaningful to me because I don't know which mom she's talking to, and I think maybe they wanted to be not the new, but like birth mom, which mean that they have gotten tighter, they have a relationship where they call each other mom.
The way I was like, she talking to my girl.
You know what I'm saying? Now I'm like, no, baby, you was not here. You dropped me off at a church in Chanel. We're not fucking doing it.
Promise you that did not even occur to me. I was like,
I was literally bad. I was sitting here living like, wait, who's she talking to? She better be talking like, right? I had a whole thing like, who's she talking to? She better be talking to her black mama, the real one. I'm sorry, I know it's messed up, but like the real one is the one that raised you. That's how I feel about this in this situation. Like the one that was there. You can still have a relationship with the new mama, or the original mama. They shouldn't have made it unclear. Is the thing. But like as a person who everybody, you know, a lot of people in my family and a lot of people in all our families have been raised by cousins and aunties. The mom is the one that you know what I mean? Like, I don't like that they made that hard to know who she's talking about because they so very much made her in a way in my mind. This is my gripe, but I feel like they kind of made her replace her mom with her birth mom, like relationship wise. They like that's the way it was going. I was like, we don't need Ruby to come back.
Well, and also after there was already so much like, you know, and we'll get to it, but like triggering things around like moms and parents and the like loneliness for the holidays. I was just like, y'all didn't even put a freaking note with this. Like people just pull up to have some fun and get emotionally attacked. What is wrong with you?
Go to a place. So like, again, we're not gonna do like the whole play-by-play, but they were just skipping around time. The briefcase wants to go as far back in time as it needs to go so that it can, I don't know,
become a star.
Become a star, but it takes millions of years for a star to form. Is what the whole thing was. And they end up in a prehistoric period. And the briefcase, I bet this is what the fuck I wanted. I don't know how it communicated with the T-Rex to come, and they didn't clarify that. But I peeked. I'm like, oh, so you telepathically caught the T-Rex? Be serious. The T-Rex ain't never came to the canopy before. It couldn't have because the canopy was there, intact. So it's a whole thing. But the briefcase said, I'm gonna go ahead and go to prehistoric period. It's a whole thing. They jump around time. Whatever. We're gonna get to the part that's important. The part that's important is Joy is like possessed. I'm doing this because like she got the handcuffed. She's handcuffed. But she's possessed by the briefcase, and the briefcase got her in chokehold. And the briefcase like, take me to go become a star. We like, bet. The doctor, out of nowhere. I mean, I knew what was happening, but I still was like, it felt out of nowhere. And I can imagine some people were jarred by it, but the doctor started reading her for absolute filth. The doctor is calling her everything but a child of God. Right? He said, oh, it's so funny that your mama named you Joy because you real fucking sad and giving depression. Okay. And she's like getting more progressively upset. Like, your mom must have been a joke. And she's like, don't talk about my mama. Because you know, you talk about my mama. That's it. It's a wrap. It's fighting words. So whatever. He basically called her all her name and said all these mean things to her to get her mad so that she would, that heightened emotion would make her like the influence of the briefcase would be lessened or whatever, and it would let her go, which happened. And then, but
not after the viewers also potentially got emotionally scarred.
Right. And then in the midst of that, she like cussed him out, but also kind of like cussed herself out in a way because she was just like, I, had to say goodbye to my mom and I love you through an iPad screen because of all the lockdowns. They were being very cagey about the lockdown. I mean, not the lockdown, the rules and procedures. Yeah. They made it seem like the rules and procedures were bad.
I figured they were talking about COVID, but
right. But I'm saying they were framing it as like those were not good rules to have, and they were incredibly good rules to have. Bring somebody who can have COVID to the war where everybody's dying. That's a great place, I think, to have people.
I didn't know what to.
So I read it. It was irritating me because they kept framing like it just kept like because all of those rules. I'm like, yeah, the rules are probably why your mom lasted as long as she did because she did not get COVID on top of whatever illness she may or may not have already had, or maybe she had COVID. But who knows? Because they are not clear about it. They don't say COVID. They just say those rules. not being able to see each other in person. I don't know. I didn't like it because it felt very much like making fun of the fact that there were rules in place when like those rules were there to protect people in real life. So that part I didn't like. But anyway, she was like, I had to say goodbye to my mom through an iPad screen. It was a whole thing that she died on Christmas and she was alone. And so she basically punishes herself by getting a hotel room, which I'm like, girl, that is okay. Getting a hotel room because she can't be at home alone on Christmas. I'm like, girl, who got money to go to a hotel for a week because they can't be in their house? Not my ass. But whatever. I would love to go be in a hotel for a week on Christmas, but whatever. The point is, like, she's punishing herself, and she had to go be in a hotel and like have the most bare bones hotel and like a not luxuriate or whatever because she felt bad about what happened. And so she discovered that, I guess, and cussing the doctor out about it. And so he's like, I'm sorry I had to say all that. And she's like, it was beautiful. I'm like, girl, I mean, therapy remains available. And I believe your healthcare coverage like covers it. I know in the US,
Nicholas.
no, but I'll please. So I think you might could have got it if you wanted it. But I'm just saying, I'm not gonna hold you. So yeah, so that was the whole thing. That was a big thing because it was like it kind of was a whoop because we didn't know nothing about her mama, nothing happened. It was just out of nowhere. We cut some people out. Mama's just dying. COVID fucked up, and or COVID rules were fucked up. Who can say? I don't know what the message was. And so they had that whole fiasco. And then long story short, I don't even feel like, long story short, the doctor do his hijinks, go through several time doors to get several pieces of equipment to then like open this chamber, which we now know, like, which we now know is like, I think perhaps somewhere that Jesus may have been. Who can say? But in this little manger, it's fine. But I definitely cackled. He opens the door. She goes into the door. She takes she pulls the star, the little star
seed. Okay.
Seed. There we go. The star seed. She takes the star seed, goes into Bethlehem. I need to be clear about what's happening here. She goes into Bethlehem and she absorbs the star. She pulls the star into her own person. She becomes the host of the star. And the doctor's like, no, we doing all this to save you so you wouldn't die. She's like, I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna be a star. Like with everybody. And all the people that died in that, like, haven't dealt with the briefcase situation are all now part of the star. Because, you know, somehow this is both religious and also very scientific. Like, we are all made of stars. Like, bet, fuck it. I love it. I love it. But she's like, it's fine. I'm not going to die. I'm just going to become a star. And when I'm a star, I'm going to be that bitch. That's all I took. I don't really have to know what she was saying because they got to a place. They were getting real metaphysical, metaphorical over there. I was like, cool. She got it. She's going to be a star. She's going to be up in the sky. Period. We know what stars do. And she told the doctor, her party words was like, you need to go get a fucking friend. Like, before I perish, I need you to know you need friends. Okay. And then she moves into the sky where she becomes a star. And then we see little vignettes of all the people we've interacted with in this episode seeing this star. This very bright star. And they all just like, oh, it's a star. Which I would imagine in like present day London was definitely like, oh, you can see the star. Because, you know, it's a lot of fucking light. You cannot see stars in these big cities. But anyway, the doctor having a cackle about it, thinking about it, like, oh, she's Joy. Like his mind.
It was very funny that they
like, he said joy to the world.
Just put the underline, underscore, bold print. Did you get it?
And like, she is joy to the world. She is the joy that was to the world. So in a way, like River Song, she was named after herself. And anyway, apparently also they kind of, I don't know. I don't feel like they could have, I don't know why they did this. She absorbed the star stuff that was her dying mother. She was like, you're coming with me. It's a yoink. You're getting yoink. And I was like, cool, fine. This is Moffat. He thought that Bill becoming an oil slick was very nice. So of course he's like, still via this star is also fine.
Such a tortured poet of a man.
I just don't understand why you had to visualize her getting her spirit sucked out. I was like, oh, it's stars. Okay. That's not frightening in the slightest, actually. Imagine the lady is like going through it. I'm like, I don't know what we're supposed to take from this. But it happened. So that was the episode. We definitely paraphrased it a lot. And also, I think we got the important points, but several things occurred.
Decent timing, too.
Handled it. I think both of us watched this episode within 2 hours ago at most. I watched it like at 3 p.m., like 2:35. So I haven't had time to marinate. A lot of this is hitting me now as we're talking, especially them yoinking the spirit out that lady. I said, Also, she said goodbye on the iPad, and I thought it was a live chat, but apparently it was a video. And I think that's important to know, because I feel like that's the choice you made to send a video if that's what happened. Right? Am I tripping? Y'all understand what I'm saying? Because I thought it was like, oh, we were having a FaceTime and we were talking live, but then they made it seem like it was
just too vague.
Oh, you know what? It probably was supposed to be a FaceTime, even though we know FaceTime don't look like that. But then, I think it was, but it just looked, a FaceTime ain't never in his life, never in his life have a FaceTime ever looked so crisp. They didn't even make it look like a FaceTime. It made it look like a video. So I was like, oh, she sent a video, but now I'm thinking about it, like it was meant to be a FaceTime call. But the mom didn't say shit back. She just like, oh, damn, there you go. My daughter. Cool. Whatever. It was a lot. I feel like the mama trauma was a lot because A, came out of nowhere, and B, was aggressive.
It was so much. And
to the end, I'm like, you're just going to snatch her soul like that?
I'm like, I don't.
Be a cosmic energy. I don't know. I feel like y'all should have done a little better with that. I feel like that was not the way to take that at the end, but I don't know. Maybe has done worse, I guess. It was definitely her mom wasn't responding at all. See, Rebecca sees it. It looked like a one-way thing, like she was just watching the video because the mom wasn't even like, because even if you're not talking, you still emote to, you know what, whatever. That might have just been a direction thing, like the actress just got an empty iPad and just like they're not telling her what the video is. We don't know what to do. Just like when in movies, when they dancing and what they dancing to was a whole different genre of song than what is playing on set. It was one of those. We're gonna get them that. But see, she put the iPad down so y'all can't see this. She put the iPad down and immediately perished. But it's because Joy had already become a star because the star exists at the time. So as soon as the call ended, she killed her. That's what actually happened. I don't want to be the one.
I didn't take it like she killed her. I took it like she was passing and Joy.
I think the lady would have been fine.
I took it as like a Joy was staying ready, so she didn't have to get her. So like when she passed,
because she knew what time she died. But I'm also like, we have just established Luke, so I think she killed her. That's how I read it. But it's fine because she brought her into the star universe, the universe of the star. She became one with the star. That's a lovely way to die, I guess. I don't know. I ain't never been a star, but
that's what we're being asked to believe.
She said, "I guess I'll die." I do not think they did a good job with that. I just felt too. It was both too much for like people who have issues with their parents and health and stuff, but also they didn't. I don't feel like gave it the weight it probably should have had, given how heavy it was. Like I literally was like, "Is this what is this? What is the emotion I'm supposed to be feeling?" Because I was mainly, and I'm kind of still there, like in a place of like, "This is hilarious." Like, why would you fucking have this star steal this lady's essence? And I get it, because she said, "I'm gonna be a star and I'm gonna be with my mom," and that sounds beautiful as a statement, but it does not look beautiful as an action that we are witnessing. I don't understand why you would have star steal this lady's soul. Am I like I don't think that's how we thought. Like you die, you ascend, and you become one with or something. I don't know. They was like, "Nope, yoink, you're mine. You're in a star now. You part of the star, my friend." I don't know. That's how I read it. I was like, I don't think they should have did this.
I do think the emotions were like all over the place throughout the episode, even with, we have the whole period where the doctor is like stuck in, on Earth.
I think that's the best stretch.
And I did enjoy it. But even like, about halfway through the like, I don't know, the moments when they did a good job of sort of being creative about showing us how time was passing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, about halfway through that, I'm like, oh, is he just gonna leave our girl Anita at the end of this year? That's crazy.
I also thought they were being funny, not funny in a bad way, but just kind of like interesting about like what kind of relationship it is. And it was a thing of like, it can be read both platonically and romantically, but I felt like they would lean romantic, but then as soon as they would lean that way, they would be like, do you have a boyfriend? And he's like, I ain't got a boyfriend. Like, just a reminder, this is a queer doctor, which is like, bisexuals exist. But I don't know, I thought it was interesting. I didn't think it was bad or good. I just thought it was interesting. I'm like, are they trying to, is she in love with him? And then it seems like maybe she's in love with him, but she's already like self-selected, like, oh, he like guys, so I'm not like I feel like she's in love with him, but also recognizing that he would not return that. So like she didn't have that expectation. That's how I read it. Like I know that's very specific, but it definitely read like I'm requited love, but I know that this person would never return those feelings. So I locked that shit away. I put it away.
Yeah. I read it as mostly platonic, but I read it as like these are two people that need companionship, whatever, need a friend. And are making space for that over the course of the year. And I thought that it was a good, I don't know, like a good show of just how relationships are built on these little moments. But yeah, like about getting towards the end, I'm like, oh, so he's just about to go. That's crazy. And then they have the conversation at the end, which is better than him just leaving, I suppose.
But he didn't get caught.
Where she's like, I always expected you to go. I mean, I took that boyfriend's moment of just like,
and she did it like twice. That's why it stood out. I think the one time it happened, it didn't stand out. It was the fact that she did it again, like you still boyfriend. Like I felt like it was probing the second time. Like, oh, let's confirm that girlfriends are not in the question, right? Like it just felt a little probing, but not like in a way that it was over. I think it was meant to be like that because that happened. Like as queer femmes, you have a homegirl like, do I want to be you? Don't be with you? What are we doing? What is this? What is it? What is it giving? What is it? I think it's one of those like I love you as a friend, but maybe you also attractive. Like, do I want to do it? Yeah. It could be. Just want to open the possibility up. Like it's not necessary, but I just want to open up the door. So if you want to come into the door, it's there for you.
I don't know if we've gotten like a answer on the doctor yet, though. Like
in terms of what?
In terms of like, I mean, the doctor's
clearly attractive.
Like I don't know if like Chuchi's doctor is supposed to be bi or gay.
Right, that's what I was saying.
Or that like the doctor is just the doctor, and I just like the doctor is like.
Oh, and I think it's the doctor. Like, the doctor likes everybody. Like
so that's how I that's what I read into his character because that's just how I engage with the character of the doctor. But yeah, it's a fair question.
I love that Britt is in both chats and actively typing in both. Okay, Britt, to let you know.
Oh, for real.
Our back end can see both of the surfaces. So they are all in one orderly line for us. But like, yeah, if I'm just on Twitch or just on YouTube, they are different. You are using both. And I see that.
Yes, Trav was a little love struck as well. It was cute.
Yeah. Right, it was just like boyfriends, right? Like it definitely felt probing, not like overly so, but just like double checking, like just to see what's good, like just see what's popping, like just to give it, just to see. But I liked the way that, like you said, the small moments that made that relationship, because I think that's what happens. Like there are people you meet, you really do become like you really be best friends immediately, like y'all just click, and then some people you don't think about how much you enjoy them until you have like it just dawns on you like, damn, that's my bitch, like I love them. So I like that they kind of showed that falling in love process, not in a romantic way, but just like falling into a comfort with someone because they already was good, right? They was already cool. They already got along, but they didn't know each other and hadn't like spent deliberate time together. So it was like, oh, take a chair. I like that because I think with the doctor, especially, we always see it always happens so fast because there's usually just like inciting incident, some kind of big thing. So of course you just bond because like our lives.
Right.
In this case, there's nothing at stake. It's just time and it's just being around someone. So I thought that was good because of the fact that we get to see the doctor have a relationship that's not based around some kind of shared trauma or danger. It's just time, like having time around somebody and realizing that you fuck with them. So yeah, that was a good one. I thought I loved Anita. She was the epitome of minding her fucking business in the best way. Like in a way, I think most of us would actually react to a lot of this stuff in this show. Like we saw it. Like if I see the broom sweeping itself, I'm gonna be like, magic is occurring, but I'm gonna be like, but the shit getting swept. So it ain't my business how that broom is moving. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think I would react very similar, like, oh, okay, that's delightful. Let me go on going about my business. That ain't meant for me to know. But as long as that stair is getting swept, as long as it's getting clean, I actually kind of don't care. I don't actually care. You know what I mean? Like, I just thought, oh yeah, you can't never get a test. But I liked how, because again, we jumping around, but I liked how it ended in a way of like, I liked her being like, just remember, just little Anita. Like, I think she knows, like, I am a footnote in this person's life, right? Like, I am a minor character in this person's life. Remember little Anita from the Sandringham, whatever, hotel. I just thought I liked her self-awareness about where she's placed in his life and like importance, but also like, but I still want you to like see me and remember me, right? And I love that they he doesn't forget her. We don't get that thing of like, well, that's the past. He's like, you know, she gets recruited to the Time Hotel, which, I mean, he probably end up there a lot. Like, not like necessarily on screen, right? But I just feel like this place, he would be a frequent visitor.
Right.
Like, so it's also that like kind of open door of like, oh, I'm gonna see you because I didn't put you in the place, or like make sure that you have opportunity to be where I'm gonna be at. I might not come to the same Brigham, whatever it's called, hotel, but I will go to the Time Hotel to post up, see what's going on with the time. But also, conceptually, the Time Hotel is a problem. Because what if I go with my gun and I do one of these assassinations? I can change history because I didn't want to be out here being funny. I'm just saying, I think about these things, but it's fine.
Well, it seems it wasn't clear what the rules were in terms of like, can you not change? Like, is it just viewing strictly? Like, you go and you're in the place.
It clearly changed because that's why he didn't want them to take that star. Because if it didn't actually change, nothing, it wouldn't matter. So the rules are fuck it, we ball. That's the rule, per usual. Yeah, that's the rules. But they did like immediately come to my mind like, that's a little fancy free. Like, y'all letting people out in the world and they can do anything. And like, no. I was like, no, they obviously have some kind of like stop gaps. But then I'm like, also the briefcase just wanted to go to a different place in time. So clearly this is actually taking these people to these places and they can influence time. So what is the truth.org? Stephen Moffat, hello. He's like, you know, I'm not gonna answer because
no, sure isn't. And then Rebecca taking us to, again, like the doctor, there was just a lot of emotions. He was feeling a lot of things, but he spends this year in the hotel room, and then in his sort of dragging joy for filth, decides to include that he was like, that is the worst hotel room. What kind of human would even choose to like be there, blah, blah, blah. And she throws it back at him eventually, like,
I did love that.
My hotel room might have been terrible, but you stayed there for a year.
Like you could have literally went to any hotel room in the whole establishment.
Anywhere. You knew exactly what time you had to be back.
Exactly.
You didn't even have to stay in London, to be quite honest. But
you could have came back here later. You could have done anything. Well, he didn't need money. And I also made a note. Like, I said the doctor needed a job.
For once needed to stay employed.
This is what I said. I'm gonna tell you what my notes say. I put, he finally got a job. And then my second note is, of course, the black doctor got a job. should have known if somebody was gonna be working doing the working class, it will be the black doctor. Huh?
Because and also exactly being sort of like working class, because he could have like gone to government, what, right? Like, you know,
I
feel like you don't know nobody in all
hello, unit.
London.
Like, unit, please wire me
the money now, sir.
Right, conceptually. Account number 567. Like, unit,
their payroll. Like,
that's why I laughed. That's why I literally like. I was like, oh, finally, the doctor gets a job. Like, doesn't make somebody work for them. And I'm like, wait a minute. The black doctor gets a job.
Yeah,
oh,
it was also like
exactly
in the beginning, or when he's trying to go around and find the correct room and like has the tray. Like, I get it, it's fine. Like,
that was cute. Yeah, like it made sense.
But I was like, I don't.
And then also, yeah, I peeped
this imagery.
Like, I was like, okay,
I don't love it. Especially because of the places that they select. Right, they could have picked again anywhere in history, any moments in time to spotlight. Like, why did they all need to be part of
where he would not be necessarily welcome?
I just okay. You couldn't have gone to specific moments in like African history, Asian history, and
Africa. Does Africa exist in the Doctor Who universe? Oh, they went once. They went once and found two gay white men. Was that where they found them? Probably. I don't know.
It was just like very
as far Africa we're going to south.
And it felt like they were supposed to be moments, I guess, that were like inspiring, maybe.
I don't know what that's
right.
Word.
The whole like
World
War and democracy, and that like there is hope
of those
like and I'm like, I guess
like the girl
fine. We've done
this. Right in for
we can do it again. Like, that's fine.
She can't write. He was like, oh, whoever this is, dump them. They can't write. She's like, I wrote it. And then he was like, oh, cool. My bad. Dump them, whatever. It's like, it's a girl. And I guess that was supposed to be like a moment.
Yeah.
I'm like, bitches be gay. I don't know what you want me to do with this. Like, go. Why did we have this whole thing for you? Like, what? Go. This is the gayest, like, it's not the gayest show, but like y'all done had enough, especially them, like gay, go. I don't care about whatever this is supposed to be. And I also don't know what year this is. Like, I don't.
I wrote the years.
I didn't I wasn't paying attention to the years. So I was like, is this groundbreaking? I mean, I guess it's always groundbreaking if it's like not the 21st century.
The train was 1962. Orient.
You in the 60s being gay, please. Bye. That's nice. People be gay, girl. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, I think they want us to take something from this, but I have taken nothing from this. I have nothing is being received. But I don't know, like Everest for some reason was taking me out. I'm like, what the fuck?
Truly, why?
Did they, like, no stuff happened on Everest, but did anything happen on Everest that was like changing the global landscape? No, people was out there dying, and then some people made it. And them were the two things that happened on Everest. Some people got to the top, and the rest of them didn't. And that's it. I don't know why Everest is like a key point of this. But I was like, cool. They in Everest. A lot of white people in that mountain. That's nice. And I love that for them. Good luck on the mountain. Even though they ain't got no ropes. So they ain't going to go very far up that mountain.
He sure did take the rope.
And they little grappling hook, so they can't hang.
And I broke them, mind.
Took them and destroyed them. Because they was when they saw that star. When they saw that star, they said, "Nah, weather's gonna be good, son. We're going up that mountain." Which I'm like, bad. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know why this is here, but you know what? If y'all like it, I love it. Brent said, "I was like, is this a mining rescue? Maybe it was on Everest. Just posted it. They just want to climb up that mountain, as people do. I don't know if it's supposed to be inspirational because I personally don't see no inspiration in going to the top of a mountain. But that's again, if they like it, I love it. I don't know. It was for me. It was one of those things where, like, if there are messages being conveyed here, I don't know what they are. This is one of the ones where whatever's happening here, over my head. I don't know what we're supposed to take from this. I took it at the most face value of just like joy to the world, just be happy shit. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the message is. If it's there, it is not clear. It is not well established. And I don't know what they want me to do with a lot of this. I also didn't know because I got to do what I got to do because I am who I am. But I'm just like, why Trev is he's given biracial. The other little homeboy, was given biracial. I'm like, oh.
I did clock that. I was like, oh, so all the people are getting got within the first 10 minutes. That's crazy.
Cool. No, yeah, I was like, cool. Okay. I see you.
And I love Anita down, but she's who we spent the most time with, her and Joy, and there could have been other options.
I'm just saying,
like Anita could have been different.
Oh, very true. Very true. But it would have been like, so the lady that's working at the yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things where I'm like,
but she seemed like she was like manager status. She seemed like she owned, so
I'm not
wrong
what I mean? For people, right? Like, it's fine. But we see each other. Because I was like, oh. But I do love that Trev got to be a part of the solution. And that Trev, because I didn't appreciate, even though I did kind of cackle a little bit, but I didn't appreciate that they was like basically calling Trev stupid. Because the doctor, he was like, I come into these investigations and I gotta come here with like a clear mind or something like that. He's like, do I have to clear my mind? He's like, oh, I don't think that will be a problem for you, Trev. And I was like, don't do Trev like that. Don't do my boy Trev like that. You don't know him like that. Don't do that to him. Don't do that. I don't like that. I didn't like it. But then Trev was obviously being like, also, you didn't give him no real information. So he did the best he could. But I like that he got to be the solution. He got to be like, oh, I did all this, boo, 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 even though he did his little math. He did his little math at the end. He was like, check that math again, friend. He was like, oh, yeah, you right. You right. Minutes. We have minutes, but it's fine. So I did like at least they brought him, like it just wasn't what it was. You know what I mean? Like he at least got to be, he got to, fulfill what his promise, even though he was like, I just didn't like how he was. They made it a joke. He's like, he's
but then it was also funny because we didn't really see the bartender again. So they were like, oh, his heart went in it. Like we saw
in the flash, all the people that got absorbed into the thing, but he didn't get to say nothing.
But we got to talk to both Trev and the hotel manager. And I just feel like with
the St. Louis, I don't know. They POC coded. They've been colonized. It's a whole thing. I was like, and then he said, and then I thought that was cute, but I also was like, it's like a St. Louis from millions of years ago. How do you become the manager of the Time Hotel? He's like, they found me in a cave and they saved me. I was just like, cool. Again, I know that's meant to be impactful and meaningful, especially I think if you know the history of the St. Louis and
oh my god.
But I was just like, oh damn, I'm mentally damn, you was in a cave and now you're the manager. I'm thinking about this from what was the vetting process? What Time Hotel needs to stop being so relaxed about their applications because I feel like y'all let people work here that do any old thing, but it's fine.
This is how we got here in the first place. Letting
anybody in Time Hotel is like this. You need to go any old doors and do any old thing.
No security.
No security. He's just walking up to every door. I'd be like, this man is walking up to every door. Should we arrest this motherfucker? Why is he at every door? Press the button. Nobody ain't saying. I would have been like, that's a
you said
dubious individual. And he don't work there because he's wearing a whole different outfit. They all matching. And he only going through doors where people on the other side of the door are not tourists. How you find all the doors in this hotel that are currently not occupied by tourists? That's wild. That's it's fine. Because I can do this all day. Because that whole hotel situation, I said, this is a security situation. This is a situation.
Apparently, it's just recommendation based because that's how Anita got it. They were like, yeah.
They're like, yeah, you can highly recommend it. Man, I know for a fact. So a man pulls up in his TARDIS. He pop out. He's like, look, I got a friend. And y'all like, bet, fuck it. And this is how we got.
Actually, we got some positions open.
A few positions opened up recently. We need management. And she manages a hotel. Perfect. Which is wild when you think about it. When you pull back from the episode, you should think about the logistics of the situation. The Time Hotel is a fucking mess. But if they like it, I love it. I wouldn't personally want to go there, having witnessed how
I want to see their
completely
waivers.
out of control it is. Because in the prehistoric time, you can get 8. Ain't no barriers, ain't no gate. At least Jurassic Park had the electrified gates. So you cannot. Now, did they get the dinosaurs figure out how to turn off the gate? Yes, but at least the gates existed. This one, they said, I'm gonna just go crunch, and you're dead. You're dead now. And he having this whole, and then I love that part. He having this whole conversation about you can be 65 million years in the past. We hear because most of us have seen Jurassic Park watching this show are like that clearly a T-Rex coming towards. All they needed was a water glass shaking. That's all they needed. And yeah, so it was just funny. I thought it was a lot of funny stuff. This is one of them episodes that's fun. And like, even when I pick it apart, it's just still funny to me. So I don't mind it. But like the mom stuff was weird to me. Not even weird. It's just I didn't think they put the right amount, like a weight on it. Right. Rex from the guy who showed up in a blue box on the same day that 3 staff and 2 guests just vanished. The murderer, maybe, perhaps, you don't know because you don't fucking care, apparently. Just say, hey, I got somebody else. You're going to hire another murderer because you don't know that he ain't the murderer.
He's a problem solver. He's a visionary.
Okay? These are solutions. So that's what happened in this episode. But yeah, Joy's the star. The star of
A star was born.
And it brought joy to the world because it became a star in Bethlehem where Jesus and it went that. I'm like, is this religious? I don't know. It's religious adjacent in the fact that we are using religious frameworks for
the star. Which they did all last season too.
But it seems pro-religion, whereas in last season, it felt very much like, especially my specific episode, we're giving. But you know, the thing was, it was unclear even then.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, religion is a thing that people have, and people can be real stupid about religion. But also, you better pray. You better fucking figure it out.
Right.
You better give it to God. Because I don't know. Like, I get it. When I'm on the freeway, I'm like, if God was real, I wouldn't have to be in the traffic. But at the same time, when you see some shenanigans afoot, you like, Lord, please don't let there be no shenanigans afoot up there. So, yes, pray, but also, don't.
Oh my God. Yeah, I thought the religious messages were like very muddled last season. And with this, and I also am always just like, why are, I don't know. I mean, I get it. It's a Christmas episode, whatever. I'm not mad about it. Auld Lang Syne is one of my favorite, holidays, whatever. Like I was here for sort of the Christmassy magic of it, but I felt like it got weird. I felt like
it was very, I wasn't, again, if there's a message to be had, it did not make it to my mailbox. I'm gonna tell you, I don't know what the fuck it was. I think it was kind of like, it might be intentionally take what you want. I am not, which is fine, but it's like, if it's worse than me taking something that might be wrong, it feels like we specifically are just throwing shit out there, like somebody gonna find something.
If the message you take is like break the hospital rules,
it's getting weird.
It's not the right one. Yeah, no, I think there's something about just sort of like, finding your joy, whatever, your peace in these seasons, in these like moments that can be difficult. But then it's also, I don't know, like I'm curious about how folks felt about it. I haven't had the time to read like conversations online or even check into like our conversation in our Discord. But like for folks who do feel lonely around the holidays or like have been grieving this holiday, whatever the case may be, I'm curious how the episode landed for them, because I felt like it was very much just like, go fix it. Like, find a fucking friend.
Yeah, I do not think, again, I think the part that they got wrong, or not wrong, but I just think they did not have they didn't approach things with the right level of care for what it was at any given moment. Like, I feel like everything was off in terms of what they were doing and what I think I don't know who they were speaking to. Because like with the mom thing, I was like, I feel like y'all was a little flippant in a way that I don't like. And then like the being alone thing was very like a read. And I'm like, there are reasons people could be alone that are not self-inflicted. And I didn't like that because I'm a person, like, obviously people who know me, I don't have a big family. So like, even if I'm with my family or if I'm with my mom, that's two of us. It still can feel lonely when you're with two people versus you seeing all your friends. They got like, they hold 3 generations of people in the household or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? So there are reasons that people are alone that are not because they self-isolate or whatever, right? So yeah, it was just weird to me because I'm just like, I don't, again, if this is whoever this is for, I hope they received what they needed from it, but I don't feel like it was great in that respect. Like I thought it was, like I like that Joy specifically, not, I don't think people watching it specifically, but Joy specifically get her licks back, right? Like she gets to like, we see each other because if it applies to me and you live that same existence, it applies to you. But also having the doctor literally cuts himself the fuck out. Like, I don't even know, there's no even better way to say it. Literally cutting himself out because he sees that. Which, like, I guess we can get to the rants and raves, even though we've been kind of just putting it in. But it's like one of my raves was like, oh, the doctor really cussing himself out. And like the doctor seeing it and calling it out, right? But then one of my rants, it's just the exact thing, which is the doctor has now had this kind of self-revelation multiple times in the new series, and it's like, now we are at the point where I need you to fucking take action. I need you to actually address the situation. We know the problem. We know that you need a companion. We know that you are alone and that you are not your best self and you're alone. We actually, now this has been discovered multiple times. It happened with 10, it happened with 11. Like that, we know this. And this specific doctor has said it out loud multiple times, like, you need to have a friend. But now we are at a situation where like you lose a friend and you just like, damn, I ain't got a friend. People have multiple friends, the doctor. Like, this is the thing people do regularly. You can have 2 friends at once even. Can you imagine? So it's a thing of like, I love that he is self-aware and that is a thing that they are like, we know this is an issue, but I don't like that we know that it's an issue and we continue not to address it. Because now you piss me the fuck off. Because now you just not doing what you need to do. Which, in the terms of like Joy and like oh, fix it. It was different because it was like a whole trauma around it. But him and just like, you just ain't going to go get you got a friend right here. Anita right there. I bet you say, hey, Anita.
Right. Or
come
just
on.
Stop.
Or just come visit.
Doing what you're doing because nobody is calling for you. You are taking upon yourself.
Just visit her. Because you come to London every other day.
Galaxy.
You are in London at least 3 business days every week. Why do you continue to act like you can't go visit people? It's annoying. It's annoying at this point. It's like it's a choice that you're making. So it's like you make the choice to be alone and then be like, you shouldn't be alone. Sir, call your friend. Call any of your number of acquaintances you've made in this city that are still very much alive and well and like have houses you can go, like, you know, that just call them on the phone.
Yeah, unless I guess maybe I think, you know, what I took away in terms of like Ruby is like seeing her would feel too hard, I guess. Like he would be invited to their family Christmas.
I will say for Ruby.
But then you have to leave, which I do get that. Like it's you know, even though he has these acquaintances and these people that he can go pop in on, he chooses, you know, eventually to leave, to have to say goodbye again.
He chooses being the key word.
You don't need necessarily to do. And also it's just like interesting, but he also like, there's also the choices in like who he travels with, right? Sometimes they try to set it up like, oh, he happened upon this person or this person insisted on coming, right? Like they saw him and they weren't going to leave. They were like captured by space travel and they were always going to try to be a companion. But then there's also companions where I feel like he could have been like, no, like, why are you traveling with humans who you know have these connections to their families, only live for a short amount of time? Like there are so many other folks that you could be building companionships with. So I don't know.
I will say my one thing I did note, and I think with Ruby specifically, it's not him not wanting to reach out. It's more so like
he doesn't want to
respecting her boundary.
her.
Yeah, like he doesn't, because she made it clear that like, oh, I want to kind of rebuild this,
right,
or rebuild or whatever, build this relationship with this person, and like, I guess connecting two parts of my life together. I don't know, unclear. And so it was her choosing to be away from him versus the opposite. And so I think him not reaching out to her specifically is about,
that's fair.
If she don't call for me, right? Yeah. Like she don't send for me, I'm not coming, right? So I took that, I appreciated that, a thing of like, because he also has an issue with not respecting boundaries. And especially when it comes to family, like the family be like, we don't like this motherfucker, he ain't shit. And then he pop up at the dinner like, and not the dinner, but you know what I mean? Like all the, like they don't, Jackie don't like him, Martha mama, and they not to like him, but it's just the whole thing. It's like, so I like that there's a growth moment of him being like, if she doesn't want me in this moment, I'm not gonna reach out. But I just hate the idea of like there's a singular person that he can be connected to at any given time versus being a normal fucking person and just having multiple relationships, having different, like everybody don't have to be your best friend. Everybody doesn't have to be your companion, but you can still have people that you have these one-offs that just happen to be, like you say, and like Rebecca said, that just one-off companions that will come and do one adventure. You can do that with intention. You can do that with the idea of like, oh, this is the person I met that seemed like they would enjoy this little romp, and we can go do this little romp. It's like, and maybe that's just the doctor's own neurosis of like, these things have to be meaningful because of whatever. But I don't know. I just feel like at this particular point, it's all you naming it and not addressing it. And I think it's because the showrunners and like the writers feel like you lose part of the doctor if he doesn't have that longing for a companion. But I feel like there's just different dynamics you can introduce if he's constantly companioned, right? Or like not even companion in the sense of like them being on target. But if he's a person that has friends he can call, you have to change his like the dynamics of like what does he need now? He doesn't need a person. He can call this person, right? He can call them up. He know that they're gonna pull up on him. So what are the different issues he'll have to face now that loneliness isn't the core issue? And I feel like they don't know how to or want to write a doctor that's not lonely. I feel like loneliness is such a big part of the new, like a modern doctor from 9 on, that like they don't want to actually address it, because they address it, then they're like, damn, we got to really give him something to be sad about. Like, wait, hold the phone. Maybe he don't have to be sad. Maybe that doesn't have to be a core part of his identity anymore. I mean, y'all didn't change everything else and y'all didn't switch up so much stuff. Why does he have to be sad and longing? And he can still do that because he's anywhere between a couple of thousand to several million years old at this point. There are a lot of things you can long for that are not tangible, really. And the problem is they make stuff tangible that don't have to be tangible. So it's like,
or it's always like another human, right?
Right. Just make it like, even with Gallifrey, like people, I guess like the older fans were like, Gallifrey is gone. Like, damn, that's crazy. Like, that's a big change. But what that did was it gave the doctor always something to long for, right? He always had a Gallifrey. Then they gave him Gallifrey, a physical place that he could travel to, and then they had to make him, I have to betray or get rid of Gallifrey for the larger, greater good, which is like, cool, whatever, but it does take away that, because now you've chosen to not have Gallifrey versus it being taken away from you. And that choice, I think, is the one who made that choice. Like, RTD made the choice for Gallifrey to not exist, and I think Moffat made the choice to bring Gallifrey back. But now we're in a situation where Gallifrey has come back multiple times and been destroyed, and now it's not. There's just always the idea that Gallifrey can be returned to. That wasn't there when the series premiered, and that's like, y'all have broken that thing. So now it's like, what else can we have him long for? Oh, and companions. But then you have to now write ways for them to not be there.
The direction that they were going, you know, with Flux, of like this mystery around his origin and like this like sort of longing to figure out like truly, you know, who am I, where did I come from, blah blah blah. And I don't know, and like that was interesting. And I feel like we strayed away from that. You know, we had like the whole season with Ruby, and now we're back to just like, I don't have any friends. Like he's not even thinking about like the question of like where he came from or any of that anymore. Maybe that'll be different in this season, but
right. Or maybe it's like that thing that's being seeded that they plan to be like, actually, we've been having this conversation the whole time, which I will say RTD is pretty good about in terms of like things of like keeping them kind of simmering under, and then they pop up way more obviously when it's time for it to be addressed directly. But yeah, like Flux, to me, I understand why people was mad about it. Not really. Like I heard the arguments for it, but I'm like, you make that important. I don't explain. Your interpretation of it is what makes it devastating. It's only devastating because you believe that it breaks canon. Whereas I think it just adds to canon. It doesn't take away any of the existing canon. Which, by the way, Doctor Who canon, be serious. Doctor Who canon is whatever the fuck I'm feeling like today. But yeah, like that to me was a really good. Like I think the Chibnall era is gonna look different when we look back at it several years removed from it, and I think a lot more people will appreciate it that didn't, because it is more intrinsically about the Doctor and his relationship to like our universe and all this other stuff than like, I don't know. It to me was, it allowed us to have all of these experiences that we've had with the Doctor again, but with this new context. So like we can go another 10 years and it don't feel repetitive because we are now going on a different journey. But like you said, they kind of circling back to like, oh, right. I have no friends, which is like, you literally do. I bet you call your ass right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the thing, like it's self-imposed friendlessness, which again, it happens. Sometimes we self-isolate because of whatever reasons, but the problem in this situation is that the Doctor is both aware of it and it's like completely in control. It's not like this defense mechanism. It's like, you need friends. Go get them.
Didn't like the implication that like that is the case for everyone, right? Like it's always self-imposed, because I don't think that's true. So
that's the problem I think this episode did, was just kind of making it very not like, it's very like everybody is in control of their destiny type shit in a way that is not true in the real world. Like in the real world, again, you can call every person you know and they all busy and you don't have no one to hang out with for Christmas. That's a real thing that can happen, not because you didn't reach out to people, but because they didn't have space for you, and that's not your fault, right? That's not your fault. But in a situation, of course, where you just like, I don't like to be around family around the time because this happened and I want to self-isolate, that is, but that's not everybody's situation. And the Doctor not having friends, like, we've seen it. We know it's self-imposed because he continues to fucking not receive, like, he met friends every episode, like every episode. The fact that you don't continue relationships with people is your doing. That has nothing to do with other people. That has something to do with you choosing not to continue those relationships. But a lot of people do try to continue relationships in their real life, and they're like, oh, I'm trying to make new friends. And those new friends already have friend groups, and they have other things going on. They have kids, they have families. It's harder for them to integrate a new person into their lives. But that's not the situation here. But the show in this episode was kind of like fucking, like they said, bootstrapping. It was very bootstrapping on multiple levels. Very much get up and get it done if you want to get it done. Like even with Joy having that like moment of cussing out, like going off and like realizing what that internalized anger or whatever was, and then being like, oh, that was beautiful. That felt so good. Like, I mean, I appreciate that you got there very quickly because it helped the story move along as it needed to. But like in real life, you have that kind of thing. Do you sit on that for like at least a couple of hours? Damn, that bitch was like, yeah, that was crazy. Got that off my chest. Okay, well, we're done here. We're on to the next. That's not how that type of thing works. Like, noodle on it a bit. Think about it. Sit with it. She was just like, damn, got that off my chest. Anyway, so then start. We're going to do well with it? Okay, period. Like, it was just a little too, you can fix it, and then it fixes immediately. Like, that's not how that shit, even if you know the thing that needs to be fixed, you can see all the steps in your head. It don't happen immediately, baby. It does not. Because if it did, we would not have mental illness. Like, I don't like. We would not be
like pointed to.
I didn't mean to.
Why am
I realize everybody,
the people listening back will not see the action that she just did, but she had to make it a weave for
I
real.
just want to say that multiple people in and around this vicinity of this conversation have mental illness, and so I'm just saying, if it was as easy to process and move through the steps as it happened for Joy, we would all be very well. We would all be so great. We wouldn't need our people. We wouldn't need the people.
We just need to hold like one day a week where we cuss each other out. Apparently, we'd be like, all right, Nick, let me tell you all the things
3 times a week. but that doesn't work for other people. I like to go ahead and cuss people out daily, but I've been told that is a very mean thing to do. No, I'm joking, but yeah, it's just one of those things. Like the show, I think because it's the Christmas episode, they want to have fun, they want to be like, joy to the world. They want to like move past all of the stuff that's hard, but the stuff that's hard and the stuff that's like tragic is the stuff that lands. And so I like want to be clear, the performances were great. Everybody killed it, like performance-wise. Yeah. Everybody played their emotions to the fullest, but we didn't sit with none of those emotions long enough for them to be meaningful. And that's the problem. Because like she's like literally, as he's winning for Phil, she's still halfway like under the influence of the briefcase. So she's not fully feeling her feelings at that moment. And she is just like doing the whole eye jiggle shit. Like, you know what I'm talking about when you just feeling them emotions, you trying not to feel them. Yeah, I know some of these people know. But but like they killing it, but it's like we go from that to like this whole breakdown, like cussing out and like everybody just getting out their chest. It's like 90 seconds between that emotional thing and then now we just like it's a dinosaur. And it's like, okay, that's fun, but then it kind of undermines or like takes away from some of the part of it that I think would have been really moving for people if they had time to sit with it. Like for me, I end up finding most of the episode funny because I'm like, even though I know that was supposed to be emotional, you went so quickly to something else that I didn't have time to like let that emotion touch me. Like I'm not a person that's easily touched, so you gotta give about 3 minutes to permeate. If you move on, I have moved on. We have moved on together. So I think that was, and I think that's intentional. Honestly, I honestly think he didn't want people to sit with the emotions, but I'm like, the emotion hitting is what makes the joy and makes the happy parts feel better because you are going on that ride. With him, it was like, damn, this fucked up. Well, we back. I didn't have time to really sit with it. I didn't have time to really feel it. Even with the mom thing, it was like, I want to sit with this and like feel this, but you moved on so quick that I didn't have time. And they show it at the end and she get her soul snapped. That's what I'm gonna say. I am committed to this reading of the situation. So it's just one of those things. Like, I personally do not think that Moffat is good with emotions. That's fine. Everybody's not good with emotions.
And one of
that's been my like problem with Moffat in his whole entire era. That like I can tell that like, you want me to feel emotions, but I don't feel them. But I love the attempt. I love the attempt. And I love the people who do actually feel the emotion. That's the thing. I love it for you that it touched you, but it didn't touch me. And this episode was like, I could probably pop this episode on any old given day because the shit just like it was fun to me. But it's not emotional for me. I don't feel connected to it because it's not like you didn't give me a chance to. But Trev is my boy, Justice for Trev. I didn't like how he playing Trev face throughout the episode, but I do like that Trev got to get his big one. He said, I'm in this bitch. Also, is this the same company that did that medical drone in Boom? Do we know?
Yeah, so they're making them, I guess, a sort of big bad to continue. But it is the same one. And I thought that was interesting. I liked the I guess going to sort of the rants and raves. I liked the evil always has a logo moment. Mm-hmm. You know, one of my rants was sort of, I feel like we're back in the half-baked messages thing. But that was one that landed well. And I thought was just like short and poignant. And then my other raves were just that I appreciated having lots of Ncuti on screen. Like there were so many episodes, you know, in the last season where like he'd come in and leave and it would be other people. Obviously there's no companion right now, so it was going to be him, but just, I don't know. I appreciated that we got to see him at least go through various emotions, even if we don't spend much time with the other characters, letting them process it. He had to do the year in the hotel and then I
like that we saw both sides of it.
Yeah,
that was really fun because I thought it was gonna be a situation where they were gonna prioritize one, like, oh, we're gonna see this year, and then they're gonna be at the end of the result. You're gonna get to them fixing it without seeing what happened on that end. So I like that they did that. I did appreciate that.
Let me see some of the raves here in the chat. Oh, there's a shout out for the Mavity moment, which yes,
Mavity, yes.
I was like this year it's saying
consistency. I love the consistency of like a small joke, but it's a thing that sticks because continuity is one of the things that I wish Doctor Who had more maintained more of. And I feel like they are making a point to like be consistent in certain things, like actually making lore, actually making canon, like really like in the next 10 years, we can say this is canon because it's a thing that happened and they kept it and it followed through. So I like that.
Cross writer.
And I have a raid that's broad. And the raid is that this episode is completely self-contained. This episode does not require you to know a thing about Doctor Who. This is an episode you can just pop on TV on a holiday and be like, let's just watch a holiday thing. And people can watch it and they can find something that they love about it. And it doesn't have to, they don't have to care about the Doctor. They don't have to know anything about the world. Like they can just enjoy it as an episode. I think that a lot of the things that make people like Doctor Who, like especially people who don't like, people are like, oh, you know, I don't know. I like episodes like this because it gives people like, oh, this is kind of the vibe, but you don't have to be invested yet. And you can decide, like, I don't know. I just think these are better episodes for people to jump into and like to have, and especially just like, I like replayable episodes that don't require you to play a whole thing. Like I do, you know me, I love a watch. I love a rewatch. I watch a whole season, but I love an episode or like 1 or 2 episodes that are just self-contained little pocket episodes that you can just watch that thing. So I think that's I think it's a rave because I like it in general, but I also think in terms of getting new audiences and the fact that they are trying to like grow, these are episodes you can share. And it's like a family. I mean, I don't know, but when I say family, I don't know what the age limit is on these because I was watching shit like this when I was extremely too young. But you can watch it with a majority of your family. You can watch it with a majority of your family, and you can like enjoy it, and everybody can find something in it. And so it could just be one of those things that exists as like a fun, like you don't have to watch Doctor Who to have this be one of your favorite holiday things you put on, if that makes sense. I think that's cute and I think that's fun. I think this is a show specifically that needs more episodes that can work that way because it's so much lore and it's so overwhelming. But I think people want to like it or want to have a way to engage with it, but not necessarily the full watching the season or like catching up or doing the whole thing. So I love that. But yeah, they're dropping the quotes.
They're dropping quotes.
Oh yes.
I'll put this one back up from Rebecca about when the doctor is saying like, you know, the look at he has all the TARDISes there and Anita asked about them. He's like, oh, I got them online. For some reason, there's loads of them. And just that fun nod to fandom. And then Brit
that's also a callback to the fact that, like, remember in 9, like in the first season, like there were like these little fan groups like, what is the blue box and all this other stuff. And I like the idea that that is something that has continued throughout. And now it's a big thing. Like you just buy the blue box online because it's become a thing. Like I love that. I don't know if that's meant to be a callback to that or like refer to that, but I like the idea of that, like this little small niche fandom, which the show itself could kind of be qualified as because it was kind of niche and it's now a big thing. It's like, oh, the blue box fandom. It's like conspiracy theories in the first season, but now it's like everybody's in the damn blue box. We all know about the blue box, so I love that as a potential callback or just like a through line between the first new series season. Jesus, too many. Figure it out from the 9th Doctor to now.
And then Brit about the mansplain central exchange, and that was when Joy was just like again asking them like, why are you in my room? Why will you not leave? So yes, that was funny and you're very cute too.
And I have one. It's a very basic one, but it's the doctor saying, I never get used to them leaving, which goes back to the thing of like most of the time that's you're doing. But also like I love it in a way that like it's true though. Like you can be ready for it and still it never like it always hurts. It's never something you're numb to, which I like for the doctor. I like the doctor being like, this is every time it happens, it is an experience. So that was cute to me. Let's see what else we got going on. Why are you taking that equipment? because it's there. That is so hilarious because it's funny because it's whatever. Really just be doing anything. I like when the doctor sometimes just be doing shit. Like I could not do it, but why not?
We talked about this one. I think I put it in the chat earlier too, like a little bit earlier, but with the like timey-wiminess of it, and when he's talking about getting the code and how it doesn't make sense. He says the code came from nowhere, but so did the universe, and no one complains about that. I like it as a quote in of itself. I also like it because it read very much like Douglas Adams, like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy type, like a quote that could fit in there. And then feel like it was written in that context too. So it was funny. And I love when the like sci-fi writers like nod to each other or call each other or whatever.
And I also wonder if that speaks to that this weird kind of semi-religious thing of like faith. Oh, you know what I mean? Like we don't question the universe. I don't know.
Yeah, it is very sort of like
it felt like a play on
take on religion. Yeah.
Right. Which is I think it's the take that Stephen Moffat has on religion, which is very much like it's not anti-religion, but it's also like some shit we just ain't meant to know.
Yes, right. But then we added Bethlehem, and it's all like, okay.
Right. That's straight out the Bible. Cool. So we do fuck with religion, but only to an extent. You can only fuck with religion to the point where you start doing wild shit. But it's like, who's to decide what's wild if you know, whatever. Bethlehem was wild though. I was like, oh, the manger. We are in here. This is we are here. We are in there like swimwear. But I thought it was fun. And I just love the lack of science about the star also. But I'm not about to. There are scientists who will be like, no, let's talk about this shit. Because baby, that's not how stars work at all. But and I'll wait though. I'm like, that's not how we don't even Joy is dead technically by the time we see the light of that star. But it's fine. Because magic and Jesus, I don't know, to be determined, I guess.
Britt has this comment on like just the ways that the episode was triggering. I agree. I will be interested to see if I end up rewatching it. We have a question here that y'all can answer on where you think the episode ranks among the other holiday specials. I kind of go to the holiday specials and, you know, any of my holiday watches in general for like light fun. And I do think that, you know, this episode circles back to the light, but I think that there were a lot of moments that could have been just that could have taken people out of it, that would have made it not fun. And I don't know that it'll be like one that folks are rewatching, or at least not rewatching.
Right. I don't think Christmas. It will be rewatchable.
Like you could rewatch it, you know, at other points in the year, but if you're like in your cozy holiday bag, like it feels a bit jarring. So
end,
that was interesting.
They absolutely did not need to show that lady dying.
Yeah. And I don't know why those choices were made.
What the fuck. This is when I'm like, he is always something. There's always that one thing that's like, are you well? Do you need help? Because like I genuinely cannot imagine being in like getting that whole episode down and then like this is how we gonna end it. And I can't imagine there being nobody like, hey, perhaps for the Christmas episode we don't do a little bit of murder. Well, okay, I call it murder.
I don't think it was murder, but death, yes.
Naturally, apparently. But either way, it happened and it didn't need to, because we already know it's not the same thing, because that was worse, but like it's when you show a death and it's like it doesn't make it more meaningful because we see it. And I don't think it's meant to be. It's meant to show us her going to the star. But I believed you when you said she was gonna meet with you. Right, I didn't need the fucking visual of her literally becoming Stardust. I don't think that was important to make that point, and I don't think it made that feel more magical. If anything, I was like, "Oh, you soul snatching from the sky. Cool, that's fine. That's what I said. Whatever." But yeah, it was. So it's one of those things. Like, I mean, I guess if you know it there, you could be like, all right, the episode is over now, and that's the end. We don't have to watch that very, very end. It's not super important. But yeah, it's one of those things like that's why I said I don't know what the message is. I don't know what they want you to take away from it because you go to these weird places. But I think, I don't know. I think it's a good episode, and I think a lot of people can rewatch it. But obviously, if you have those kind of parental health things, even if they're not like, you know what I mean? Like I think that's a lot for people, but the way that they did it is what makes it bad. I think if it would have been discussed slightly differently, it probably wouldn't have been as bad, but it's just like jarring, like you said. So I am curious as to how other people where they would put it. Like, I think if you don't think about it, which I didn't when I was watching it, it was like perfectly entertaining. And then, you go back through it in your head, like, that's dicey. So I don't know if you'll be able to like rewatch it without, because now we
like
dissect
the
it
last
a little bit,
one
right?
Was literally the musical, right? Like it was like
I don't remember the last one. I'm gonna be 100%
It was when we were introduced to Ruby and they're like going to get the baby and they're like breaking out in musical song, right? Like it was like
I don't forget that's the Christmas special because I think of it as like the first episode. Like I don't even think about it as a Christmas. You're right. But it's like, well, yeah, that one's fucked up too, actually. It had the exact same problem where it's like almost a very perfectly good episode, and then that one thing that's so fucking out of control that like I don't understand. Again, if you are mentally in a good place to have included it, which of course in that episode is Carla not having baby Ruby in her life and therefore becoming one of the worst people in the universe, apparently. And then this one is like a parent. Like, I just don't know why they had to. Like, I just that it did not add anything to either of those episodes. And it makes me mad because I'm like, this is a perfectly fun episode without these like triggering moments. I don't mind it being like we go to a heavy place because it's the holidays. A lot of people do go to a heavy place, but the point should always be like to end in a place that's not. And I don't know why you thought ending on the place of this lady dying was good, but power to you. Therapy is a part of your health coverage. You can seek help. So do that. Because I'm personally tired of like having all these like episodes that I have to watch with a caveat every time. Like, all right, this is the part. And then you gotta like zone out for a minute or like leave the room, go get you a snack and come back. Like, I don't want to do that. I just want to watch an episode and not have to navigate a trigger or navigate something that's gonna piss me off. Just make it fun. I don't know why I had to be all the extra shit. It worked perfectly fine without that end part. But one thing they're gonna do.
Cool. And then we have our final question of just what are we looking forward to or dreading in the season ahead, whenever that is. I don't think we have a date yet. Maybe we'll get it after the new year.
I think between us, we was like early spring seems right. Like from all the stuff we pieced together. But yeah, what are we looking forward to and dreading? Well, I'm dreading. Dread is strong. I genuinely am so annoyed by how they ended, like how Ruby's story came together that I don't actually want to spend time with Ruby right now. Like, I don't think they're gonna do anything with Ruby that would make those choices feel better to me. I feel like they're gonna double down on the choices that I dislike. So I'm like, if we spend more time with Ruby, then have more of that like back and forth of like, oh, me and mom, and then she talk about her birth mom, and I'll be annoyed by it. So I kind of don't want to deal with it. That being said, I like Millie as an actress, so I don't mind the character, but I don't like how the character is positioned. Like, I don't know. I don't necessarily want to deal with that part because I feel like that's another one of those things where like, I don't know how people who are in adoptive situations feel about it, but even as a person who is not adopted, I feel a way about it. Or like a person who has adopted or fostered for other people, like how does a person feel watching that who has raised a foster child, right? Like I just feel like I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me how it ends, and I don't have an issue with the finding your birth parents thing. I think that's one of those stories that's like, it just always is attached to that kind of story, find out who you are. I loved it when it was a parallel with Ruby and the Doctor. I just don't like how they did it in this particular way, where it kind of feels like Ruby was like, well, found my mom, so I can really I don't know. It just felt she was too gleeful about that relationship in a way that felt dismissive to me of her existing relationship. That's the problem I have. I don't mind that you want to build that relationship. I do mind that you are allowing this person to have equal weight in your life, even though they were not there. And this person who was is now being relegated to like the secondary mom or whatever. That's where I'm at. So if they fix that, I'm with it. But I don't trust them. So, but excited for. I mean, I just think Ncuti is always going to be given what needs to be gave. And I have such faith in him as a performer that I kind of don't even, I'm not even concerned in the way that I was like, I just know that he's going to elevate whatever it is. Like, I hope he don't have to do as much elevation as he has done previously. Like, I don't want his acting to be the only thing salvageable out of these episodes.
Yeah.
But like, I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared to be like, this is not fun, but he is. But I hope it's not that. I genuinely hope it's not that.
Yeah, I think I echo that. Britt did as well. She said less Ruby, more doctor in fun outfits. I would like to see the doctor in fun outfits. I would like to see us go to more places. I think last season we talked a lot about how we didn't really travel too much. Like we spent a lot of time on Earth, or in like, you know, we were in a spaceship, or we were in like this other, you know, these contained places. We didn't get to see like other planets, other whatever, you know. And right. So I would like to see the doctor kind of travel more, interact with more folks. I would love to see a return to the like origin story timeline, but in a way that's done better than some of the adoptive stuff was done last season. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
And we would like to see, Dog going to London. Stay away from London for 1 week challenge. Like, can we just?
He's like, can't do it. Not possible.
It's just so weird because, like, you literally can go anywhere, and not even anywhere on the planet. You can go anywhere. Go anywhere, please. Like, anywhere. Like, I don't understand why you refuse to leave this like 100-mile radius. Like, you always land the places you could drive to the other places you landed. That's too damn close. Okay. Go to different continents. Go somewhere else. Like RCD literally can't do it. Doesn't understand how one would leave the zip code. Like, please, anywhere. But yeah, this is a fun episode with like a potentially triggering kind of subplot. I don't know. It's not really plot necessary, so it's not even a subplot so much as just a character point. I don't know, but
yeah, device.
I think if you're a person who does not have kind of those related traumas, it's probably perfectly fine. Like, it was fine for me, but I also have a lot of friends and family who were like, I'm like, oh, that's not great because this is gonna fuck with people. Like, and it was just random. It was weird how they did it. But I think a lot of the episode is really fun. And so if you can, I guess, get ahead of the parts that are going to be jarring, if you know they exist, like, and you can kind of prepare for it, I think it's an enjoyable episode. But I can see people not wanting to revisit this just because of the way that they addressed her ailing parent. I just thought it was too flippant and not quite enough care given to how that would land. But that is unfortunately the way these things have been turning out in Doctor Who recently. So yeah.
If you enjoyed this live stream and would like to get access to more TARBIS live recordings, you can sign up to support Black Nerds Create on Patreon. You'll get access to behind-the-scenes content from TARBIS and other BNC collective projects. You can learn more about BNC at blacknerdscreate.com and come kick it with us in our Black Nerds Create Discord server. We are on the site. Well, no, we're not on that. Whoop, we got to change it. We are not on the site formerly known as Twitter.
We are on the
site.
We
are on Blue Sky.
Currently known as got the butterfly.
We are on the butterfly site at Black Nerds Create. We're on Instagram, and we will theoretically be on Tumblr if I get my life together. Talk to us on socials and use the hashtag Tarbis and let us know how you're engaging with Doctor Who fandom.
And also, we are trying to get Twitch affiliates. So please, if you could give us a follow and, stay tuned for some live streams. We'll be co-working and doing some other fun stuff on Twitch. So hopefully we'll see you there.
Yes.
Thanks for joining, guys. Goodbye.